Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Kevin from Hats and Guitars. I'm still here and still going strong, and we're going to talk about a very, very good subject today that I know a lot of people are interested in. Here it is, let's break it down. Last time we talked about what's a really, really good hat. I gave you my opinion. Now, of course, people like different things, I like lightweight hats. I like them soft. I like the styling of this hat. It has a sort of a round, very soft styling to it, yet it's very iconic. This is me. Other people, the ultimate hat to them could be a Stradaliner or an Open Road or a Stetsonian, or the hat that Bogey wore in the Maltese Falcon or something like that. Whatever is your ultimate hat is the best hat. What I say is the best hat is not the best hat. It's the best hat for me, and it's my taste. Okay, now there are some people who like a really stiff and snappy hat, like a Kubra. Okay, let's talk about a Kubra. A Kubra is the brand from Australia, which is basically known as the Stetson of Australia. Okay, they have invented all these different ways of making felt. They invented machines to make felt, and the quality of their felt is incredible. What they do is they make rugged hats, authentic outback hats, which are like a Western hat for Australia. There is a big hat culture in Australia because they need it. The sun is extremely hot there, and from what I heard, they only live around the coast, right, of Australia, because the middle is just so treacherous, and it's hot and desert, this and that. So they need their hats. They have to cover up. They're very, very serious about hats out there. Kubra hats, think of them as a felt that's very, very rugged, but not necessarily cowboy. Some of their styles are what you call a crossover style. In America, we call it crossover, which is like half Western and a half dress hat. They're known as outback hats. Outbacks are somewhat of a Western hat with a flat brim, without a big, tall crown, and without that rolled thing like this, okay? Now, you can have a rolled brim on a Kubra. There's something called the Snowy River that's got a little thing like this. They're generally rugged, okay? A lot of times they're turned down like this, downturn brim. That's an outback look, like a safari-ish kind of thing, but not necessarily. A Kubra makes everything. They make big slouch hats that they have the snap here, like those kind of jungle-looking military things. They make fedoras too. They make something that looks like a 1940s fedora. It's called the Style Master. It comes in a beautiful color that's like a bluish stone blue. I think they call it stone, but it's like a slate, like a bluish gray. It's gorgeous. It's like that eye color blue, that bluish gray eye color. And it's a fantastic hat. It's like a 1940s, like a Stetson Whippet or something. Teardrop on the top, bound edge, the piping and stuff. It's got that 1940s look, but it's made out of a thick, rugged felt. Where generally a fedora is made out of dress felt, and it's not really meant for, big rains and stuff. A Kubra is making stuff out of this rugged, very water-repellent felt. It's very stiff and it holds weight. What does that mean? Let's say the weight of these glasses is the weight of a bunch of snow or rain on top of your brim, okay? So you just got rained on, okay? You have to have a hat that you can walk home while there's, how many ounces of rain permeated into that felt. It adds so much weight, the water weight, that most hats just fail. They just kind of turn into this other shape because it can't hold the actual weight of the water, okay? Kubra is different. A Kubra is like my new green light. It's pretty cool, right? Get to animals and stuff. A Kubra makes everything out of rugged felt. So you could get their Style Master, which is like a Whippet, a 1940s hat, but it's made out of thick stuff. And then when you look inside, the leather itself is really It's strong but soft and buttery, like that really good expensive leather. They make good stuff, and they've managed to keep their prices around the same for like decades. You could pay, let's say 20 years ago, you pay $175 for an Akubra. 10 years ago, it was like $175 for an Akubra. Now it's a little bit more, but not much more. They're averaging around the same price as a Stetson, like right around that $200 range. They're fur felt. They don't skimp on anything. The quality is great, and they make it all. They do, let's say the Snowy River is their most Western hat. They do a lot of things like the Cattleman. The Cattleman is their classic Outback. It's like a big downturn kind of a thing with a braided band. They have the Coober PD, which is fantastic. The Banjo Patterson. They have hats with barramundi fish skin bands, like real leather from a fish, barramundi. They have one with a little opal, like the Coober PD is the town where the opals come from, so they have an actual little opal on it. The Riverina, oh man, that's a great hat. They have so many models that I can't even begin to tell you. It's a great company. That is a good hat to wear in the rain, okay? Let's talk about something else. What else can you wear in the rain? Western hats, real Western hats, not crossover hats, not the Open Road, not the Stratoliner, not the Dune. I've gone through all this. Not the Gun Club, real Western hats, 6X Stetson Westerns, Resistals, things like that. You guys out there, you know what a real Western hat is. I don't have to tell you what it is. The Stetson Shasta, Stetson Rancher, Stetson Carson. I could go on and on. We're talking about usually these days they call them 6X. Years ago it was 4X. It was a 100% fur felt rabbit hat was 4X and up. Now they're 6X, and so you want something like that, like a Stetson Skyline. Now that's a good hat. It's a hat that has what do you call it? A cattleman crease, just like a Rancher, but it's not so high like a Stetson Rancher. It's lower. It's got a lower crown. So you're the type who likes a cowboy hat, but you don't like the huge high crown of a Rancher, and that big. Well, you get the Skyline. It's the same hat with it's a lower crown, and it's got a self band. The band is made out of the felt itself, which is very expensive and custom looking. It's a feature that they have on some of their like $1,000 hats and stuff, Stetson. So the Stetson Skyline, these are good Western hats that will take a beating. You could wear them in really bad rains and stuff. Usually you're not going to have that many side effects. I do suggest having an umbrella, but if you got to, you got to. What else? Rain hats. Rain hats are probably the best. Rain hat can be something that's made out of like a raincoat material, like poplin. You generally buy a rain hat because it's cheaper. There are some, like old men who just live in a rain hat. They'll get like a black rain hat, and that's their hat all year. But generally what it is you have a fur felt fedora. Let's say it costs you $200. When it's really raining and the thing is just waterlogged and dripping, you don't want that, okay? Your hat's not going to last you 20, 30 years and look great if you keep doing that. When it rains, you get yourself a rain hat. Dobbs makes them, Kappas make. They're very simple. They're generally inexpensive. You could get them for $40, $50. You could get them for cheaper. It's a hat that's made out of kind of like a poplin cotton raincoat material. It's a little slick. They have high-tech ones too, ones that are made by really cool companies like Hills hats from New Zealand. They make some gorgeous rainproof stuff that's a little bit more high-tech and quick drying, and has all these high-tech features to them and stuff. There are all sorts of rain hats that you get that are inexpensive and they look pretty good. There's ones that look like fedoras, that are little short brim fedoras. Kappas Headwear makes that one. The Rain Challenger, it's gorgeous. And the Rain Safaris, they're downturned type of brims like this, and they have like a little leather band. You've seen them. It's kind of like the rain hat that goes with the raincoat. It's the match. You'll see old, like singing in the rain, kind of like raincoat dudes, Maybe I could flash a picture on there or something. Okay, Westerns, Akubras, rain hats. These are what you wear in the rain. Do not wear your Stetson whippets and stuff. Don't wear all this, all your beautiful dress hats. They're not meant for it. If you get in a jam, you get caught in some rain, okay, put the umbrella up or run to your car or something. If it's a super horrible rain and you're going to be walking and your hat's going to get waterlogged for a long time, go to the store, just get a plastic bag and put the bag over it or something, just do something like that. Get a bag of chips for $0.25 and just invest in get that bag, or just take a little supermarket plastic bag, fold it up into a little square and put it in your back pocket, So if something happens, they do have things that are see-through, like little rain covers. The problem is a lot of those have these very strong elastics, and they're meant for stiff hats, like Western hats. Rain covers are for more things like uniform hats, like helmets and stuff, state trooper hats, park ranger hats. So if you're going to put a rain cover on a soft fedora, it's going to go like, because it's got this heavy elastic on the bottom. It's not necessary. Me, I just walk through the rain. I don't really care. I pay the price the next day. Most of the time, your hats are just fine. If it's a brand new hat, you just invested in it and you're not sure, don't risk it. Just don't wear your fedoras in the rain, okay? What else can you wear in the rain? A very, very good quality hat. Something like a Borsalino Quality Superior. Those are incredible. The vintage hats. You have something that's, a really nice vintage hat, and this piece of felt is like, whoa, Some of those hats are priceless. You could sell them for almost anything you could ask, Like if you have a Borsalino that's made of beaver with a Kavanaugh edge in a desirable color like, white or bone with a big, tall, Humphrey Bogart Maltese Falcon crown or something. A hat like that, in perfect condition, you could ask like $1,000. Anything you wanted, pretty much. Vintage hats can get really, really nice. The quality of them can be just like off the charts, maxed out. But they're hard to find. Most of the time, they're too small because the people in the thrift shops where they sell them at, they grab them for themselves, if they're good sizes. And they're just really tough to get. But if you're, savvy enough, you could find a good vintage hat. Those, they do well. Those hats actually do well. But yeah, for me, I would wear a rain hat, even a cap or something like that. I'm not the type of guy who really likes to wear fedoras outside that much at all. But yeah, there's other ways. I wouldn't wear your fedora in the rain, despite the fact that it's made out of rabbit or beaver or how expensive it is. Just don't do it. Here's the way you do it, okay? Let's say you got 4 or 5 hats on your wall. Some of you guys I know have up to like 40 hats on your wall and stuff. What you do is you take your older hat. You take the one that's a little bit more beat up, the one that you don't care as much about. Like if you have one that's got a little wrinkles or maybe there's a tiny sweat, that's the one you wear on that day. Wear it in the rain. That way it's pouring, horrible rain on there and stuff. You don't care, Hey, they got the Ed Norton look. Look at that. But what you do is you wear the hat that's last in your rotation, the one that's for gardening and stuff like that you were going to give away to your whatever. That's the one that you wear. You don't wear light colors. You don't wear really expensive dress hats in the rain. It's just you're asking for a trouble. Okay. That's about it. I think the last video I put out was really, really long. It was 45 minutes. So this video is going to be a little bit shorter, guys. We're talking about what hats are great this week. What hats can you wear in the rain? What are my favorite hats? What are some of my favorite brands? Let's talk about that quickly. Celentino. Love them. Celentino is a classic hat. It's not a hat that's like all super soft and squishy like Borsalino. It's a classic hat with a good snap to it. They're thick. They're reliable. They never, ever, ever curl. The brims are 100, 1000% stable. And these are hats that it's one of the oldest hat companies on the planet. They're making hats since the 1700s. Okay, that's a long time, 18th century. They predate Stetson, they predate Borsalino, they predate everybody. Celentino is made by a company called Tonak. Okay, this stuff is gorgeous. They make all the colors. If you want orange, you want yellow, burgundy, lavender, purple, 5 shades of green, white, off-white. They have fancy finishes. They have furry finishes like the beaver. They have silk beaver. They have velour. They have different bands. Any cool custom variety you want, they make. And they're the king of colors. Borsalino has a few more colors than them, but they're incredible. These are hats that are affordable. You know, they're like $2.50 a pop or so, and they're worth every penny. They have wind cords. The Queen, the Sterling. The Queen is one of the most beautiful hat bands of any hat ever on earth. I think it's gorgeous. It's got this big square in the middle of the bow. We used to call that the Hamilton, the Queen. The Sterling, those are two of their nicest hats that they make. Celentino is one of my favorite brands, and I would recommend them 1000%. You can buy them directly from Celentino, from their website. You can buy them all over the place. They have them at Ben Craft Hatters, I believe, too. I'm pretty sure that Ben Craft has it. I know you could get them directly from Celentino. They're a great, great brand. Borsalino, another one of my favorite brands. I'm going to say the only brand I really wear. I don't wear any other hats but them, but I like very, very lightweight hats. I buy their lightest stuff and I pull the sweatbands and the linings out to make them even lighter. This one I had to throw a pad in there, you know, because it's like a decade old. I would have sweat through it, but yeah. So my hats are really light. They're just like feather light. I wish I could express to you how light this hat is. It's like, it almost feels like it's made out of a Kleenex tissue or something. It's just, yeah, so light. Borsalino, Celentino, Akubra. Akubra is more rugged. They're very reliable. They make a very, very authentic Indiana Jones hat called the Adventurer. If you're looking for the Indiana Jones hat that's got the square, you know, the old time one, like he really used to wear, that, you know, that tall thing. It comes only in brown, the real color, and it comes open crown. So when you get it, what you have to do is just go like this and go like this. That's it. Don't think it's a big deal. You don't have to even steam it. Steaming it is good, but you don't have to. Don't be scared by open crown. Buy their Adventurer. If you have any issues, call me on the comments, whatever. I'll help you out. But yeah, that's a great hat. I've never heard of one person having an issue with it being shaped. Akubra is great. Akubra, Celentino, Borsalino. Wow, these are good brands. Signes, Signes, a brand from Spain. A family-owned brand. They come from España, Spain. And it's so classy. A couple of you guys out there have some old, a couple of them that I sold you. They make wonderful things. You should go on their Facebook page and like them. Signes, Signes. It's a wonderful brand that's kind of like Fernandez and Rocher. It's a Spanish brand, very custom, but they're a little more high fashion, a little more original. They do unique things. Like every year they come out with some cool stuff on their site, cool bands. They're very, very cool, very great brand. The leather is top shelf. It's one of the only brands that uses real silk linings, like, you know, that shiny silk that almost look like mother of pearl, you know. The textures, the finishes of their felt is just gorgeous. They have these like satin brushed finishes. I've even seen corduroy finishes, you know, like with these kind of corduroy stripes. Signes is gorgeous. What a great brand. Hard to find in the States, you know, easier to find in Europe. But hey, guys from Signes, if you're watching, if you would like me to sell them in the United States through my website, through my channel here, we've got over 80,000 viewers. So hey, Signa is a great brand. Who else? Rocher, Fernandez de Rocher is great. I recommend their stuff highly. Their brims are better when they're ordered with a little stiffener and they have some good snap. That's generally how a lot of people do order them. Rocher is good stuff. I recommend them. They run small, about one size too small, as do Borsalinos. So if you're a 58 in a Stetson, get a 59 in a Rocher, a 59 in a Borsalino. You need to go up one entire size. Trust me on this. Trust me, just do it. Okay, a lot of you people have had hats that you had to stretch. They were too small. Never stretch a hat. It's bad. You guys know it. If you're in doubt, go bigger and just put a little padding underneath the sweatband, behind your head, tighten it up, fine tune it to size. Go big when you're in doubt. All right. We talked about my favorite brands. We talked about the hats I wear in the rain. I think that's two good subjects, right? Yeah, that's good. Take care.